Microphone check, microphone check. Welcome back to Sunrise. Today, our mic check is coming from a very mindful place. Not saying it's demure, but it's very mindful.
You're not saying it's cutesy either?
Definitely not saying that. Well, especially as it relates to what we consume. I think we're on this whole trajectory of mental health. It's important what we feed our mind and how it affects us. So check this out.
Very mindful, very demure is a phrase young people have been using a lot recently, not necessarily understanding the concept of being mindful or even how the definition of demure goes into the same sentence. But mindfulness is a practice that dates back over 2,500 years ago and is an ancient Buddhist tradition. And what it means is if you're mindful or you practice mindfulness, you're paying attention in a particular way, actually on purpose, and that you're always present in the moment, feeling, looking non-judgmentally, and having an attitude of acceptance and curiosity. So for decades, Harvard professor of psychology, Ellis has been researching mindfulness, and she's credited as significantly influencing the thinking across a range of fields from behavioral economics to positive psychology. And one of her arguments is that the choices that we make as individuals should depend on the current context that we're in. So most of you would learn that I love reggae and dancehall music profoundly. It's a love affair that I've so deep-rooted that I've had since I was a child. I mean, my first record was a Liquor 45 by Ika Mouse called Awadu Dem. And my mother had to carry me to buy all of these 45s, and I started collecting music from as a child, from as far back as 4 years old. So yeah, I know the lyrics word for word for most of our iconic songs from old and new artists across those genres, and perhaps why I still get goosebumps listening to Bob's Natural Mystic, and we can blurt out everything to Spice's, yeah, so me like it. But I'm also very mindful of the meanings of what these artists are singing, especially some of our more modern dancehall artists whose lyrics are reverberating with explicitly loud hypersexual scenes, either as an enticement for others to follow or as a gambit to convince their rivals in the dancehall that they have better talents. So let's take the song Go Go by Raja Wild, aka Rap Bat. And yeah, have a nice rhythm. I can tell you something you don't know. Me like Go Go. He's very candid about his preferred choice of being with a girl. But I've listened to that song repeatedly, and I've studied the lyrics, especially when he says this. "'Cause man a sinner, you know, say me grow cool. No love, just mockings me know about." So his mindfulness or his awareness is not knowing love, but only mockings. And when we Jamaicans talk about mucky or muckings, it's defined often as nastiness, filth, garbage, is slimy, it's silt. You know, not go out a door without your shoes, because out a door mucky. Lord, it feel mucky, man. Jesus, you look mucky. It's not something that we compare with anything that feels good. You know, it just doesn't. So my question is, what duty do we have in our own mindfulness? You know, I ask myself, did he grow up this way? And if he did, then what can we do as a society? Or what did we do wrong? Or is it an assumed purposeful behavior, you know, to have a rat-bat muckings pattern for entertainment? Whichever one it is, we must be mindful of how these lyrics are disseminated and how they impact the thought process, awareness, and purposeful objectives of the upcoming mindfulness of the generation that's coming behind us as we move to an era of no filter and no censorship. I don't support censorship. I don't. But you know what? If we want to continue pushing narratives of forceful, mucky, sexual, and human relationships, then what should be the counterbalance? And where should those be positioned so that young women and young men, you know, understand that there are alternative modes to feel love, showing love, understanding sensuality and human relationships. You know, I grew up listening to some of the most raw dancehall songs and still do, yet I was mindful of the decisions because I had counterbalances. So let's strive to ensure that the mindfulness of the next generation to see these alternative avenues and pay attention in a particular way is done on purpose. Let's enhance the mindfulness of the next generation. These are the things that I contemplate. What are you contemplating?
What are you contemplating? Very important. You know, I've always said, you know, as a student of culture, as a student of music, I don't believe that, oh, the music is just a reflection. It has no influence. It is both a reflection and an influence. And there's so much of what we consume that has a permanent, indelible impact on our mind space. And so what we consume, it affects us deep to our core. You know, recently I've been thinking a lot about it because of a sermon that pastor preached at church, and he was talking about the power, more powerful than the spoken word, more powerful than the written word is the sung word. And there is a message that you will not get when it is written, and you will not get when it is read and said to you, but if make somebody sing it and it seep down in your soul and connect with you. And so like, we have to think about what it is that we want to seep into our subconscious at that level.
And here's the thing as well, the other side of that, of the consumption is again in, you see, word sound power. Because you listen to it and you soak it in, as you just alluded to, but then you sing it and you pour it out. And what you speak over your children, what you speak over the people you love, the words that come out of your mouth, the utterances. You see certain songs can't pass my lips, you know. Songs that, you know, it sounds so silly, and let me just be very clear. I'm not referring singularly to our genres, not dancehall, not reggae, not singularly.
Absolutely,
they're involved too, but not singularly. There's a particular song by a pop star, an American pop star, that says, "It's me, I'm the problem, it's me." Me not sing that song then. No, I'm serious, because you start to believe in your mind that you are a problem, and the things that, you know, paint the town red. I'm the devil. You have to be very careful with these words, and while you consume them, they're impacting you, and while you speak them, they're impacting you and
the new
others.
talk where people have, oh God, I'm going to hell for this.
No.
No, I'm not say it.
I'm not even going to knock on the door.
No, I'm not going to say that. No, I'm sorry. I'm not that liberal. I don't have the luxury of that kind of language.
And I can't lie. It is the part of me that understands the word. The part of me that understands in Psalms that says the power of the tongue speaks death or life. It's not lost on me, and I'm never going to speak death over myself, over my loved ones, and I don't even care if it's idle. I'm not doing it.
Not death, much less eternal damnation. Sorry,
Correct.
not gonna. So I think, again, you have to guard your mind. You know, almost like with a helmet. And it is so important for you to. That's why there are certain things I just don't expose my picnic to. Sorry, I don't expose my picnic to it. And you ever go on picnic party and the music is inappropriate and you're like,
listen, let me tell you something.
Is this a kids party?
Me, I was a queen of Kids Bop Kids.
Really?
We're going to play the Kids Bop version of everything.
Yes.
Because it is edited and edited appropriately.
Age appropriate.
It is age appropriate.
Definitely.
And I'm proud to say that I can safely say, unequivocally, that my daughter is age appropriate. She's not naive.
Good.
She's not oblivious. But I believe what she's knowledgeable of and her knowledge of certain topics is age appropriate, because we have to have these conversations.
Stagger it.
And things are going to come up, but the response must be age appropriate.
No, man.
And her consumption is age appropriate.
The response for some people is to overexpose the child just in case. Let me tell him about it. Let me tell her about it.
But you can share the information in an age appropriate way. For sure.
I do. I agree. Thanks for that mic check. All
right. Well, it's time for another break, but we'll enter the free zone after this. Someone get Dennis some tissues. He's going to cry when he loses.
I don't even know what we're talking about.
Come.